With the summer season in full swing, classic car collectors are now taking their wheels out for a spin. This is old, but it's not classic. And usually that means cruise-ins, which is a large gathering of cars. But unfortunately, large gatherings aren't really recommended. So local car clubs have had to find alternatives. The Vintage Cruisers Car Club found one recently with their Cruising Against COVID event. I mean, I guess my biggest curiosity, we might as well just start with that, is sort of how the pandemic has, I guess, changed the way your clubs work. How has it changed?
Lorne, you want to kick off your Portage cruise thing you guys did?
Well, we certainly can. I mean, we have an event scheduled for mid-June. It's a regular car show annual event called Cruising the Island. Of course, we couldn't do that this year, so like many other clubs, we were forced to cancel. So what do you do instead? We are looking at how some of the car clubs in the United States started doing these cruises. How it works is it's an in-car cruise. So you virtually stay in your car with your family. So we decided we needed to do one in Portage La Prairie. Did so, had about 200 vehicles out, enjoyed the day immensely, did a tour of the entire city, and it was a glorious event. So this is how 2020 is shaping up on the collector car scene, I think, in Manitoba.
I mean, it sounds like it's like a little bit like a parade of sorts, almost.
Very much so, but and a lot of our members wanted to call it a parade, but I kept saying, no, parades are what Shriners do. Cool cars, guys, gals, we do cruises. Bob will probably agree with that.
Now, if I recall, it was Cruising Against COVID. So were you guys able to raise money? What was sort of the elaborate a little bit more on sort of what the goal was with that event?
Right. Well, certainly the goal, more than anything, was to provide a little bit of sunshine for not only those of us in the collector car hobby who have been sort of dug down deep and isolated and away from things, but also to spread a little sunshine throughout the community, which was very evident. And that's exactly what we saw. You know, people were taking pictures of the cars that went by, but let me tell you, we were taking pictures of the people who were sitting on their doorsteps, who've been self-isolating for so long. And in terms of, yes, we were taking cash donations or non-perishable food items, which we collected all on behalf of the Salvation Army. And indeed, we were collecting bins and bins and bins of non-perishable food items and some cash that we passed along to the Salvation Army, and hope it helped.
Are there any sort of other similar events you have planned for the future during the summer? I guess, what are the plans for the summer, the rest of the summer?
Well, it's pretty much we're on, listening to what the government's allowing us to do. So right now it's just, jump in a car, go for a ride, go to Portage for a ride, whatever it takes, and just say hi to everybody.
There are so many clubs throughout the province, and the level of enthusiasm amongst the collector car community is so high that you could pretty well count on something happening for the rest of the summer, although it's going to be a lot different in 2020 than it has been in previous years.
Yeah. I'm just actually kind of curious about, doing the cruise by, so to speak. Do you like, I don't know, you mentioned, people have been cruising since the 50s. Do you feel a little bit of a connection to that past when you're doing the cruise?
Yeah, I think we sure do. I mean, a lot of what we do is connected with nostalgia and the older vehicles. And I'm sitting in right now my 1966 Caprice, which for me has great sentimental value because my father purchased it, took delivery in December 1965. And I was driving it during high school. And here I am into my mid-50s and I'm still driving it. So that's a lot of fun. But I mean, so there's this nostalgia connection to the vehicles, to that time and place.
Oh, I'm going to second that big time there. It gives us an opportunity. I just think of 45 years of friendships I've made over the years, and it's really, we've had this saying, it's the cars that bring us together, but it's the people that keep us together, and it's just friendships you cannot replace.
One last quick question, and that is, being stuck at home, everyone's sort of been isolating at home. Has that made it easier or harder to actually like work on the projects you may have been putting off because of other, commitments and whatnot?
Are you talking car projects? Well, it helped me out personally. I had some problems with, I've got a 56 Chevy that I had some major issues with, and they popped up the early part of April, and it took me almost to the end of May, early part of June to get it rectified. So I'm just back on the road maybe 3 weeks here. So that allowed me, with no shows and the hustle bustle.
Absolutely. And, it's been great for me too. I mean, you always like to go to the shows, but there's always something to be done at home. And in my case, it's a 1958 Meteor wrench wagon that I've been working on, and I've been able to move forward on that project. So, I mean, if I have to self-isolate a little bit longer, well, shucks, I'm just going to have to grin and bear it.